So today I'm excited to talk to you guys about the Daicamping DL7 or the SQT titanium multi-tool, and this is an amazing tool. For the past 2 months I've been carrying this or a version of this pretty much every day because I love this. Essentially what you're getting is a Leatherman Charge Plus for $50, and that's an amazing deal. Now this one has the titanium handles, so the TTI is even more expensive, but essentially you're getting a Charge Plus right here. So what we have is a great set of pliers. We've got replaceable wire cutters as well. We do have a crimper at the bottom. We do have ruler markings on the sides of the handle. And then on the outside, we have one of my favorite tool sets. So we have this serrated blade, this knife with the cutting hook, and that's come in handy a couple times. And then we do have the saw. Now, I don't use the saw that much, but I know a lot of people love that. And then we do have just the regular knife, and then we have the full-size pair of scissors. And just as a side note, remember you always have to push them out all the way until it clicks. And these are a great pair of scissors. Really enjoyed using them. Now, some of you will say, where's the file? Well, it doesn't have a file on the outside. That will be a big deal breaker for some of you. I rarely use my file or saw, so that's not a big thing for me. Now we have the 1/4-inch bit driver, which really sells this tool for me. I love that tool. And then on the inside, we have a file, a small diamond file, the regular file on the other side. We've got a wire stripper, can opener combo right there as well. And then we do have the large screwdriver, which comes in handy for me. We've got this awl, and then we do have the micro screwdriver. And there are times when none of the screwdrivers work for something except this micro screwdriver, and I do find that useful at times, especially for someone in the trades. There's sometimes very small screws, or again, if you have kids with remote controlled vehicles, these do come in very handy for some of those small screws. So I love this tool. This probably, to be honest, is about the perfect tool set for me for everyday carry at home. This is amazing. Now it does come in around 9.5 ounces, 270 grams in the 4-inch frame, so it's not extremely light, but I do love it. So this is, again, the titanium scale version. So I got to thinking, what can I do with this tool? And that led me down a rabbit trail. And I talked to you in the past about how I actually got some Leatherman Charge scales off of eBay for $20. I was able to replace these titanium scales with a Leatherman Charge. And then since I've actually added a pocket clip, drilled the same screw size as the Leatherman pocket clip uses. And then I attached it so you don't have wobble. And that has worked out fairly good for me so far. So I really enjoyed that. But I took it one step further and I made this. I put it together, assembled, I guess is a more correct term. So what I did is I actually got these scales, these orange Leatherman Charge scales from EDC Mods. And this right here is from his store on Etsy right here. And these are actually like plastic, heavy duty plastic. These are not G10, so they're a little bit cheaper. They're $42 as opposed to $60 for G10 scales. And right now it seems like the G10 scales are out of the orange color. So I really wanted the bright orange, wanted something totally different than what I have. And so I got these and I put them on, and I'm very happy with them for this tool. Now I've turned a cheaper Chinese tool into a $90 tool. Is that crazy or insane? Perhaps it is, but there's something about it when you make a tool uniquely yours that it's just sort of satisfying. Now these scales aren't extremely heavy duty. There definitely is some play in them. So don't expect the world out of $42. But I did end up Really enjoying these. They've held up so far. I've only assembled these a couple days ago, but I've been carrying this, really enjoyed it. Now, what I did is actually took this pocket clip from a Felissa or a Suapro. It has a little bit of wobble because it has a metal tine that sticks down. I drilled a hole. The hole is round and it should have been square. So what I can do is always put a little piece of metal in there and wedge it in and lock it down. But just it doesn't have that much play. It doesn't really bother me. So I've been very happy with how this turned out. And it is very smooth opening. And oh, it is a beauty to carry in the pocket. I love this tool right here. Excellent, excellent tool. So I really wanted to go over 3 ways that the Daicamping DL7 or the SQT titanium version is really one of the best modding multi-tools on the market right now. Or I don't know if you'd say the best budget, but definitely if you like to tinker, it's one of the best tinkerer multi-tools on the market right now. Now, the Roxxon Flex is amazing. And if you're interested in the inside tool set, that's great for you. But I think a lot of people prefer maybe just to do partial modding, and so this tool right here is definitely a gem in that department. So that is the first reason. This is sort of like a hot rod, the Jeep Wrangler of the multi-tool world. You can use charge scales, and there are maybe up to 100 different variations or more of charge scales you can get. You can get them off of Etsy, eBay, and AliExpress. Those are the places I've seen, and perhaps other places as well. So there are all different versions. There's weird titanium version. There's all kinds of G10 versions. And if you buy the correct kind of wood, you can make your own wood scales as well, which opens a whole different avenue that I'm planning to walk down in the near future. So that is pretty exciting. You can use pocket clips from different tools, and these are cheap enough that you can get a whole bunch of these. Obviously, I bought 3 of these, and you can tinker with the inside tool set. You can cut them, mod them, and it's fairly easy to do. Now, with these scales right here, you do have to enlarge the bottom of these. I don't plan to do a full modding video right now because those are not extremely popular on this channel, but perhaps if there's enough interest, I will show to some extent how I did this in the future. Maybe when I make my wood version, I might do that, and I did show that to some extent with this one. But needless to say, you take these pivots apart, and then you take the pliers out, and then I actually take these apart, and then I use just like a small hex wrench to keep the inside tools all together, and then put it back together. It sounds easy. It's a little bit harder than that, but not that much. Now, what's the next reason why the DL7 is such an amazing tool? Well, it's the price. It's cheap. $38, $37 on AliExpress, $50 here in the US on Amazon. It's about a quarter the price of a charge, and outstanding value. So the third thing I really love about the DL7 is that it is very smooth to open, at least when you mod it. So you can mod it to exactly how you want it. And even on the original DL7, it is not that tough to open and to close. It seems fairly smooth, and I really like that smooth opening. Now, I will get a lot of hateful comments, but the Leatherman curl, this is a fairly new one. I did buy off eBay. I did not buy it new, but even used, it should have been a little bit smoother because hopefully it would have been used. But this is a lot stiffer to use, and it just doesn't feel as comfortable. And again, I know a lot of people will say, well, that's because you haven't used it enough. You need to use it for years and years and hundreds and thousands of times, open and close it, and it'll be perfect and amazing. And that's probably true, but you know what? There are some times when right out of the box, I would love to just have a smooth opening pair of multi-tools. And for Leatherman's prices, $100, $200, with a Leatherman Arc 300, it is a little bit smoother opening, but almost not quite 300, 230, I guess. But who knows, it may get there in the future. It seems like Leatherman should be able to make smoother opening multi-tools. Now, I've heard all these redneck recipes. People say, oh, you put it in a hot, soapy water with all the tools out, you let it dry, and it's just amazing. Or other people have different solutions, and some of them do seem to work. So that's great if you want to go through all that. But if I've spent $100 on a multi-tool, do I really have to do what I feel like Leatherman should have already done at the factory? And again, a lot of you may disagree with me, but that really frustrates me. And that's a third reason why the DL7 I really love, because it is very smooth. And I feel like even the tools are fairly smooth. Now, is it perfect? Absolutely not. Look at that right there. It's sort of misaligned. Can I live with that? Absolutely. For $50, for $30, $38 or so that I paid for it, I've got no problem with a little bit of imperfections. I can live with that. A lot of you may not be able to. So I did want to point that out. But overall, this is one of my favorite tools at the moment because I can personalize this a little bit easier. I love the Roxxon, and I will be carrying the Roxxon more when the bit driver comes, but since the bit driver isn't here yet, I've been actually enjoying modding these, and I like to be adventurous, try new things, see if it will work, and so far I've been very happy with how these have turned out.